alafu I believe this is emotional for some people. Now, most of the people I've met in person have quoted this episode. Yenye Florence Mtonyi anasema, DJ CK, Chris Kirubi, may he rest well. Every time I meet someone who watched that episode, in fact, not someone who watched that episode, one of the most quoted episode yenye tulificha the late Dr. Chris Kirubi especially, one thing that everyone always mentions, ni wakati alitutolea doa akatuchapia kwa meza akituambia usiwahi tembea bila kitu town.
If you take 1 shilling from 1,000 bob, it is no longer 1,000 bob. Right?
Yeah. But it's enough to get a wife. Now, how
much money have you got in your pocket?
In my pocket?
Yeah.
I don't carry money on set.
Oh.
I don't carry money on set.
Okay, you are forgiven. How many of you have 10,000 bob in your pocket? They are pocket money. When you walk in the street, something could happen to you.
See,
you don't.
That's.
I can produce if he allows.
How much money do you have in your pocket?
I don't know. Let me. Do I have
security? Security.
Africans are not born to be poor. We have the same opportunity like the Japanese, the French, the British, the Americans. It's only we don't use our talents. We don't think hard enough. We got to work hard. And don't say there are no opportunities. You create your own opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tunachagua creme de la creme of the episodes chosen by you, chosen by our audience members. So, tuendelee.
Ndio nifike mahali niko nimegongwa pia mara kadhaa. But I never give up.
Yeah.
When I was starting my very first bill niligongwa cause anyway, I started with selecting, kwenda nachagua moja zenye zinanipendeza, naenda napiga pasi, napiga picha, naeka online.
Yes.
Watu wanakujia na nafanya deliveries.
Okay.
So at some point I was like, demand imekuwa higher, so I would rather take a full bill. Nachukua bill. First of all, unafanya mahesabu baya cause unakuja una divide, nimepata hizi pieces, divide by this amount, so nikiuza hata 10 bob, nimepata profit ya why? By the time unafika katikati umechomeka mbaya. So this is how I learned. And at some point, nikachukuanga kibada Gikomba, I go watch those women because I was asking myself, if kama nimechomeka nao wanawake si watanunua bado huko. And they go there each and every day. Unasikia kama there's an aunt of mine, she's building a house out of the mtupa money.
Yes.
I had to go there. Sasa nikajituma. My baby was 6 months old, nilimwachanga. Naenda asubuhi by 5, niko Gikomba nafungua bell. By kitu 12, tishamaliza. Okay. So as I learn. So that's how I learned the way to sort out how to price.
Yes.
And from that experience now, that's what I've been teaching the upcoming ones.
Na ukisema kulan inamaanisha wewe umefika level of expertise, unaweza angalia bei hivi na nje ujue hapa hakuna kitu, ama ni uko na contacts wa kukuambia hiyo usiguze.
Haya, now that I'm importing, I have now the factories that pack for me.
Oh, you are importing?
Yes, I've gotten there now.
Okay.
So now I supply in bales as well.
Yes.
So I can tell them there are factories, like if you go to the Canada, for example, there are different factories, they'll come in different labels. So if you are buying from Grace Wambere, she tells you it's grade 1, it's grade 1. Okay. But kuta places utaenda uambiwe this is grade 1, it's a grade 2, it's a price of grade 1. So I always tell them to be keen. Bale venye inakujanga imefungwa, I hope you know venye inakuanga imesiliwa, it's very hard to tell. Kama nguo ziko ndani ziko na stains. Wewe utaona tu urembo lakini unaweza fungua upate haziko venye ulikuwa una expect.
Tunarudi hapo kwanza kwa importation, juu hapo utatusaidia pia na hesabu ya taxes kidogo. Tony, kuna conversation. Kwanza hiyo post tuliweka Facebook, swali ilikuwa direct. What business can I start with 10k? Yes. Kuna kitu mtu anaweza anza na 10k hii town na uomoke.
Hai mob. Vitu mob sana. Lakini ile kitu mwambia watu, kitu ya kwanza kabla anze biashara, look at your interest. Ni kitu gani inaweza kuinterest? Si like yeye ilikuwa ni story ya mtu hii.
Yes.
Huyo mtu wake ndiye alimzalia biashara.
Yes.
Alikwenda kutafutia mtu nguo. So tafuta interest zako na ikuwe pia ni kitu unajua. Zile time mob mimi nimechomeka, which ni lazima uko kwa biashara. Niliingia kwa biashara ambazo sizielewi. Saizi we are very lucky kuna online. There is so much information that is available. Lakini ikija kwa biashara with 10k, like hiyo biashara tumesema ya sweets. Ni biashara unaweza anza. Unaweza anza biashara ya mayai, unaweza anza biashara ya kuku, unaweza hata anza biashara hii ya nguo. So vitu ni vingi. Unaweza anza, lakini kwanza uko na interest na usik information. You learn ukishapata idea kama 5, you narrow them down. Kila moja unaandika benefits zake, challenges zake, insights zenye unaweza pata, unajua. Then out of that now you pick and you prioritize. And then ukisha zenye utapick, now the top 3 endo utafuta watu wanafanyia biashara. Ulize, by the way, hii kitu siri ni nini? So ile story nini Grace atakwambia leo juu ya mtumba, my friend, sikiza tu. Usijifanye mjuaji, atujipeleke ukikomba. Utabeba mawe.
What does it mean response time? Ya ati mimi niko na namba ya kolo, nyoka iko kwangu. Unaweza hang na bulb for how long before ufike?
Okay, acha niseme kutoka kwa kitu ishai happen. Nilipigiwa simu nikiwa side za Karen na simu ilikuwa inatoka Thika Road. Unaona? Na ilikuwa ni usiku tu kitu saa 1 hivi. Ameona nyoka ikiingia kwa nyumba. So si alipigia simu. Imagine kutoka hiyo time mpaka ni prepare, maybe nikimbie kazini, nichukue grab sticks, nichukue na kwa sababu lazima tukue at least watu wawili kwa sababu siwezi jua ni nyoka aina gani. Tukafika huko but tulipata. So one of the thing unapata nyoka inakuanga nayo, kama vile nilisema, kama inajua iko in danger, haiendangi mbali. Like a python ama viper. Viper unaweza pigiwa hata simu saa hii maybe Western na niko hapa. Nitatoka hapa hata kama ni kesho, nitapata tu bado ule mnyama ako pale. Ako tu within. Bora tu mtu
so umelipa rent, uachie nyoka nyumba mpaka mtu afike.
Yeah.
That's the safest thing to do.
The safest.
Wewe usingangane nayo.
Cause ukingangana nayo what happens, unapata watu wengi umwa na nyoka kwa sababu ya kujaribu kuua. Yeah.
Na mtu akiumwa in the event ya labda imekupata off guard, what are the first things mtu anafaa kudu? Kuna yenye ikikuuma unafaa ujikate mguu alafu kesi baadaye?
Okay, hiyo ni swali poa. Kuna hapa nyuma wase walikuwa na believe ukiumwa na nyoka, lazima ufanye ujaribu kujikata hapo mahali, unyonye damu. That's wrong. Na kuna wengine walikuwa na believe kuna dawa mganga anapeana mtu akishaumwa na nyoka, hiyo pia ni uongo. So what happens, mtu akiumwa na nyoka, the first thing to do, cause unajua as long as venom imeingia ndani ya veins, so iko in contact na blood, so which means kama itatake how long kutoka kwa mkono ifike paka kwa roho. Unaona? So kitu yenye nianza nisaidia hii process yote ikuwe slow ni kukua calm. Unaona? So as long as I'm calm, sitakufa haraka. Unaona? Na kuna high chances za kupelekwa mpaka kwa hospitali.
So ngoja. By kukua calm ni kumaanisha kureduce heartbeat. Like ukiumwa na nyoka urelax. Utulie. Do you even think that's practical? Atiye buda maze nimeumwa na nyoka buda. Do you think that's practical?
No. The safest way, kwa sababu unapata most of the people, kama kitambo ulikuwa unapata wazee wetu, kuna jamaa ako na mguu moja na jamaa ako na mkono moja, alijua akiumwa na nyoka afadhali aende amputate. Ambapo haja gani ufanye hivyo na kuna njia nyingine yenye unaweza baki na mikono yako vizuri na usurvive.
Na hii kitu ya ati umeumwa hapo unafunga haraka.
Hiyo pia ni uongo.
Haisaidii.
Haisaidii. Juu nikishafunga unajua huku kuna blood flow. So ita make sure ime contaminate nini yote. So ukienda kwa hospitali itabidi tu ukatwe mkono.
So siri ya kuumwa na nyoka ni kurelax.
Tulia.
Kuchill.
Though kuna nyoka zingine zenye huwezi vumilia, sana sana vipers.
Yes.
Ukiumwa na viper, the same, hiyo venom, hiyo feeling yake ni the same na kuingiza mkono ndani ya mafuta ya chips
ni
hivyo.
chungu sana,
Yeah.
Umeiva mkono.
Yeah.
Na sasa swali lingine ni we ukiitwa, tuseme kama mkipata simu ya Kitui, unaweza pia jua kama hii nyoka ni msee?
Okay, kubelieve mambo ya nyoka ni ya msee.
Si ati ni ya msee, hii nyoka ni msee.
As in,
ujaisikia hizo story?
nyoka ni mtu.
Nyoka ni mtu, as in.
Okay, vitu kama hizo happen.
Hii nyoka ni motiso, as in, usijaribu, huyo ni motiso.
Vitu kama hizo happen, but nakumbuka kuna scenario ili happen nikiwa coast.
Yes.
Tukaambiwa kwa port kuna jamaa amepatikana na nyoka, na ilikuwa Egyptian cobra. So kuja kupatikana na hiyo nyoka tunapata haina fangs, na wanasema huyo jamaa ni mganga. Unaona? So kwa si kutoa nyoka kwa huyo jamaa hadi saa hii iko museum. Unaona, inaendelea vizuri. So ingekuwa ni ya mganga, ingekuwa vitu zingine. So mimi hakuna haja nikuje nianze maybe kufuga. Unajua kufuga kama kitu kama fisi, vitu mbaya, kufuga fisi, kufuga hizi mbuni. Nianze kufuga watu waniite mchawi, kuogopesha tu watu.
Saa ingine ni kipindi.
Vitu zingine tu watu wanadanganya.
Na now that you mentioned it, kuna watu ng'oa nyoka meno. Kuna
msee anaweza ng'oa nyoka meno, maybe ni wale watu wa kufanya show. Anaweza ng'oa meno akijua akienda kwa show haitamuuma, but that's wrong kwa sababu ile nyoka haiwezi kuwa na life. Unaona, hata kama zile fangs zita regrow, haitakuwa na life poa.
As in, sasa itaacha hata haiwezi kula panya, lazima itengenezwe mashed.
Yeah. Unaona, saa kwenda kusiagia nyoka nyama. Hiyo
kublend nyama.
Hiyo na unajua haiwezi kula.
Na kunywa meat juice.
Unajua haiwezi kula. Unaona haiwezi.
Then nilikuwa nashangaa how comes no one had talked about this, alafu nikakuta mahali watu wameanza kummention Benjamin Zulu. Of course, he's been on the show more than once. Here are some of the good vibes he shared wakati alikuwa na sisi.
But please don't live with a girlfriend in the same house.
Why?
Do not live with a woman before you marry her.
Watu wa Keyuka hawa, this is for you. Why?
Because dating is interview, and if you start living with a person, it's like you're being interviewed 24/7. Even when
then it means this is a practice. They should, if they pass the interview, it means you can live with them forever. Why would you want to find
when
out
you go
more
for
about
interview,
them as a surprise?
When you go for interview, we dress up and you brush your teeth. But if the interviewers are examining you, even when your breath is stinking in the morning, and how you are sleeping at night, and the weird sounds people produce, and the way you don't even... You need space. Let me tell you, interview does not mean faking. It means examining a person with the freedom to leave or come. And I want to warn men to leave university students alone. Don't date university girls. They're not yet 25. And their brain and their personality solidifies at 25. You don't know who you're dealing with if she's 23. First, she's very unstable. She gets overwhelmed easily. She gets excited easily. She's do you know microwave? I call those girls microwave.
18 to 25, no go zone.
25 and 24 and below, leave those girls alone.
No go zone, no. Totally.
If you love your sanity, leave those girls alone.
Even if they've been raised in church.
It's about their developmental stage. It's not about their spirituality. In fact, many of them are spiritual because they were colonized into spirituality by their parents. They were forced to pray, forced to go to church. One day she'll grow and say, what is this? I don't even know what it is. They're still exploring. And I want to ask women to leave men under 30 alone.
So I should be single as in legally, by morality, I should be single.
I want to ask, men, their brain matures at 25, their personality begins to show, but men go through another, generally 5-year cycle of exploration. Okay. The club type goes party after party.
Okay.
They go partying, experimenting, and then his cut is a good cut. Anything female, they just look at it. The testosterone is reigning supreme.
So, kindly confirm this again. Men before the age of 30 and women under the age of 25 are allowed to be sinners. Just confirm.
They don't need permission. They are restless. They are restless. They don't know who they're becoming. The biggest thing with women is women and their emotional life, they are so intertwined that almost it's engulfed in how they feel. So girls 24, 23, 22, 21 are erratic.
Okay, then if men under 20, as in above 29, above 30, are mature and are ready for marriage and are ready for everything, life and everything.
And not all of them.
I would
Thank
have asked you to
We are
explain
saying
Willis Rabu.
this is a sequence of development. Once your brain has matured, it gives you ability to think, but not everybody uses it. Not everybody thinks straight. Not everybody learns. Some people never learn at 60. And we are saying human behavior usually follows patterns, but it's not cast on stone. You can find a few people married under 25 or under 30, and they got it well. But there's so few, and those are the ones who have been learning constantly under mentorship and coaching by their mentors or fathers or parents. And there's so few, it's like crossing River Limpopo on a rope, and you can't prescribe that as a means of transport.
Okay, thank you. In which case, I'd love to hear your definition. This is one of my favorite questions. Then how do you tell that a woman is ripe for your ripeness over 30?
3 things. 3 things. Just check 3 things. Other things are, 1, virtuous. Virtue means, does she have the wife quality of being honest, stable? Does she look composed? These qualities are so rare to get. I don't want you to be confused by charisma and charm and shape and beauty and slay and atmosphere. That's what men look at. A girl who slays.
What else are we supposed to look at? You can't post virtue on Instagram. You cannot post hiyo ingine ni gani inaitwa?
So I want a woman with character. When I say virtue, I simply mean a woman whom you can say she's honest. A girl who is lying, a girl who is a woman should. Virtuous girls don't ask for money. That's a very simple definition. And they don't need to be sent fare to come. And that fare does not mean she's coming to your house. That is not dating, that is nonsense. Don't sleep with a woman whom you intend to marry. You are teaching her what you do, and she will never trust you because she knows your capacity. If you are serious with a woman, don't take her to bed. Examination is not done in bedroom, it's done in boardroom.
So if you're dating, you have cancelled all the options. Where do we meet?
We meet in hotels. We meet on video calls. We meet in public places where you can see people in the right behavior. Once a woman shows you her thighs and her chest, your thinking switches off. You can't even examine her when you're seeing her body. Some are slay, the body is glowing, but there's no character. The container is so decorated, but the content is missing. You cannot see the real character if you're thinking with the thing between your legs. You need the thing between your ears.
So if you meet a girl, and you're 29, if you actually start dating a girl when you're 29 and she's 24, you should actually wait for 5 years.
Don't choose a woman when she's under 25. You don't know her. It's an egg. She's yet to hatch. Egg, lava, pupa, maggot. This is a maggot.
And this is standard. Sawa. Back to standing with you in terms of your friends.
All right. So we're saying your nuclear family, your wife and your children, those are your go-to people. You're going to court, you're going to cultivate that friendship and loyalty and presence at all costs. Those are the guys who can go down with you. But they don't go down with you when you neglected them. You invest. It's the man who leads. I wish this was man talk, but we need another day for man talk. It's the guy who sets the pattern. You know, meal time? Kingori meal time is a must. Eating time, start it early. Even if you live in Mombasa, have a regular visits time where you guys can just be you and your woman. Then when the child arrives, even if you're not talking, call her up and ask men to learn to call their women 3 times like painkiller. 1 times 3. Morning, noon. Even if she's quiet, call over the quietness.
Na wakati ya kukuwa na simu, kwani how are they surviving?
They used other means. They used other means. Today we are not there. And those people keep confusing. Our parents married at 18. I tell you, this is a problem. If you want, one of the things that happened in our generations past is that women were suppressed and their potentials were ignored and they were made the subject of men. That the society was patriarchal and women had no voice and she was just had to be seen and used and she was not to be heard. No wonder so few women became anything. So few. Those who became anything, either to divorce or never to marry. So today, it's our potential that matters. And the reason we are that word, Kingori, is because we waste our potential University students, they're graduating pregnant. Can you imagine? Sasa government just stupidity. You should have developed your potentials first.
But you have graduated as a mother.
You should have first of all graduated as, how did Zuckerberg invent Facebook? While in the university. Yes. Look at the guys who changed the world. They started with experimentation, pushing for their potential. Our stupid university students are living in each other's rooms today. Doing nothing, crying all the night. Oh, did not talk to me. Oh, can abandon me. Stupid, get out. Go experiment with your potentials. These guys who can't afford their own underwear are busy talking to a girl, buying a lollipop of 10 shillings, promising her something you also don't know. But then let me announce to men, after you graduate, it average takes you about 10 years to stabilize financially.
Before you make money.
Yes. Stop promising, oh, baby, there's this future. Oh, 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 oh.
So that's where people make mistakes. You date before you stabilize financially.
And exactly. And then you promise something you do not know.
And if you date when you're already financially stable, aren't you setting yourself up for a trap of someone loving you for your money?
We don't mean wealthy, because you need the woman again to shape you up to be wealthy. Most men are scattered. If the money comes, when he has no discipliner, those women are the one who organize you. The man will be scattered and busy. Look at men who become slaves, who become things without women. They're scattered. So we mean when you have financial foundation, okay? You have marketable skills. Either you have a job or there's something you can sell and pay salon for the girl, pay rent. You have basic financial foundation. You have marketable skills. And remember, 60% of Kenyans don't practice the degree they studied, okay? Yes. So 60% of people have another journey after they graduate to find themselves. They came for this degree because their uncle advertised it. Hey, the CPA is very good. Go and do CPA, go do BCom.
I've been advocating against that, sana, the education system and what it makes of people. If 60% is a number you cannot ignore, then what does this mean?
It means we should have started with the personality testing. We should have started by telling kids that, please study yourself before you choose any career. You don't make it famous. I mean, career does law have market? Is it marketable? It's about whether you love it. Your heart matters more than your head. Did you realize getting grade A is sometimes a curse more than a blessing? Yes, because it makes it possible to do any degree, and now you are lost for choice, and now you are confused. You never listen to your heart. You listen to your head. I did law myself, but I could tell law is only a starting point. It's not my staying point. And many of us were lost and confused because this family only do the big five, you know. You come from medicine or law, engineering, architecture, you know. But that's not you. You simply wanted to be a comedian. Joker. You're talking about jokes. This family are jokers.
So it's safer to get a D- who back in a catering
get the best. I found that most girls, I was looking for a girl of C myself quietly.
Looking for a girl?
Of C+. I was just looking for a degree. I just looking for basic degree.
For what? To marry?
A wife. When I was looking, I was careful.
Oh, you vetted your wife based on high school
I could not say it, but some things you don't say. You just know them. Okay. You don't say them. I had interacted with the airplane. I have no problem with the airplane girls. They're very bright. But I realize many of them don't cultivate the character. They just operate on their brilliance, and that's all. They hate cooking. They hate, I don't wash anybody's thing. But I wanted a practical wife, my friend. Some have an activist. You can't marry an activist. Whatever a man can do, how a man can do it. We are bringing something to the table. Let us split in by you. We listen. We cooperate with them publicly for political purposes. But in private, we all know we want a practical wife.
But you yourself mentioned that in the past, these marriages worked or may have been thought to have worked because women were oppressed. So it would come across as you are a supporter of women empowerment. So women empowerment is also I'm a big
advocate of women being empowered and pursuing their dreams. But I'm also a big advocate of a woman being comfortable in her position as a wife. If she has chosen to get married, marriage is not compulsory. You can live alone. So don't marry a man to torture him. If you hate the position of a wife, don't fake so that I marry you, then you torment me by refusing everything. Refusing everything that a wife is supposed to do. Yes. Think soberly. Are you willing to yield? Submission means to yield, to give way, to be comfortable with your position. And the wise women know that submission is a position of power. Once you know the man, men are so vulnerable. They're so easy to read. Men are straight lines. Men are patterns. They live on patterns. There's a way he breathes when he's comfortable.
If you think about it, men are a straight line.
Yes, women are the ones who are zigzag and spiral. They change. So sometimes she's crying. What are you crying? How are you feeling? I don't know. She also doesn't know why she's crying.
Exactly.
Sembuse wewe.
See you next week, same time, same place. My name is Dr. Kingori.